Students, welcome to class 10 CBSE NCERT syllabus. So the subject is science. So in this science subject, we are going to know about the chapter sources of energy. In the sources of energy, we are going to know the first part 1. So in this part 1, we are going to know about the introduction, fuels, for properties of fuels, renewable, non-renewable sources of energy, difference between the renewable, non-renewable sources of energy, advantages and disadvantages of renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. So now we are going to see some introduction about what these sources of energy. In our daily life, for doing many works, we need energy. So doing many works, we need energy. For example, so grinding the corns, or moving from one place to another place, or so watching the TV, then washing the clothes with washing machines. So all these are needed energy. So all these activities in our daily life are needed energy. So construction of dams, construction of roads, construction of buildings, there should be heavy machines are also used. When we go to the factories, inside the factories, many our daily needs are going to be produced. So those, for the production of those needs, the machines needs what? Energy. Therefore, the energy can be defined as the capacity to do any work is called as what? Energy. So the capacity to do any work is called as energy. In this modern life, most of our energy requirements are fulfilled by fuel and electricity. So fuel and electricity are the most of the energy requirements are fulfilled by these two forms of what? Energy. But nowadays, different forms of other energies are also utilized by human beings, like solar energy, tidal energy, then chemical energy, then mechanical energy, so then kinetic energy, so solar energy, wind energy, so then geothermal energy, so biogas. All these are the different forms of energy which are going to be utilized in this modern day, along with what? Fuel and electricity. There is no doubt fuel and electricity will provide most of our energy needs. Okay, they are going to be fulfilling our most of the energy needs. So according to the law of conservation of energy, we have seen in the first chapter law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Now we are going to see about law of conservation of energy. What this law states: energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So remember students, so one form of energy cannot be created, or if it is present in the universe, it cannot be destroyed by anyone. So but what we have to do? We are going to do it. It can be transferred from one form to another. The total energy before and after the transformation remains the same. So this is the law of conservation of energy. So the SI unit of energy is joule. About this we have studied in 8th standard also and 9th standard also. The SI unit of energy is joule. Energy is measured in terms of joules. Okay. The solar energy is the most abundant form of energy which is available on the earth. So remember students, so the source of all the energies is solar energy. So the solar energy is the most abundant form of energy which is available on the earth. So students, now we are going to see about properties or signs of good source of energy. If there is a source of energy, then what are the important properties or signs of good source of energy? Then which one we are going to call as a good source of energy? There are different properties are there. Now we are going to see about some properties, important properties or signs of a good source of energy. First one is being the source of energy is cheap and easily available. It should be cheap and easily available on the earth. Okay, it should not be difficult to get the source of energy. So supposing that in Gogi we are having what? Uranium. So uranium is good source of energy, but it is very difficult and dangerous to get that energy form. Okay, so that's why we are not going to call that uranium as a good source of energy. So the source should be cheap. It is available to common man also. So and it is easily available on the earth. It should be easily available on the earth. So this is the first sign of what? Good property or sign of the solar energy, source of energy. Then second one, do not cause any environmental pollution. So it should not cause any environmental pollution. Suppose think that you are burning coal, petrol, diesel, then some dangerous or poisonous gases are going to be released to the environment. So if those poisonous gases are really released to the environment, what is happening? Environmental pollution is going to be happening. Then we are not going to call coal, petrol, diesel as good source of energy. So second property is do not cause any environmental pollution. Third one, easy to store and transport. It should be easy to store them and transport. Then these are the signs. So then it is called as what? Good source of energy. Suppose think that, can you store petrol in your house? No, it is very dangerous. Can you store hydrogen in your house? No, it is also dangerous because hydrogen is a highly inflammable gas. It is very dangerous. Okay, so it catches fire very easily. Can you store LPG in your house in the containers, any containers? No. So it should needed what? A special cylinder. So that's why, so all those mentioned above are not good sources of energy. So what is the good source of energy? It should be cheap and easily available. Then do not cause any environmental pollution. Easy to store and transport. It should be easy to store and transport from one place to another. Then safe in handling and use. It should be safe in handling and use. So there should not be any accidents while handling the sources of energy. So if these are the signs, if these are the properties of a source of energy, then we are going to call it as good source of energy. So these are the some important signs or properties of good source of energy. Which are those? Cheap and easily available, do not cause any environmental pollution, easy to store and transport, then safe in handling and use. Okay. So next we are going to know about fuels. So fuels and electricity are the two good sources of energy which are going to be used by us in our daily life. So these are most our energy requirements are fulfilled by fuels and what? Electricity. First we are going to know about fuels. What are fuels? So materials that are burnt and used to store energy are defined as fuels. Okay. So what are fuels? Materials that are burnt. After burning they are going to be releasing energy and used to store energy are defined as what? Fuels. Okay. For example, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, diesel, cow dung. Cow dung ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಭರಣಿ, ಅಚ್ಚ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಭರಣಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಳ್ಳ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ವುಡ್, ಕೋಲ್, ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್. ಕೋಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಲು, ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ದಿಲು. Petrol, diesel, cow dung, etc. are the examples of fuels. Okay. So what is fuel? Material that are burnt and used to store energy are defined as what? Fuels. So features of good fuel. What are the important features or properties of a good fuel? We have seen the properties or signs of a good source of energy. Now we are going to see features of good fuel. Which one is called as what? Good fuel. Okay. First one, it should have high calorific value. So remember students, the fuel which is having high calorific value is called as what? Good fuel. So that what is meant by this calorific value? So suppose think that you are burning a unit of fuel. So by burning a unit of fuel, then the energy released by that unit is called as what? Calorific value. Now I am going to define it as the amount of heat energy produced by burning a unit mass of the fuel completely is known as what? Its calorific value. Remember student, this word is very important. Okay. So the amount of heat produced by burning a unit mass of the fuel completely is called as what? Calorific value. Suppose think that you are burning a kg, 1 kg of LPG. After burning 1 kg of LPG, the amount of heat released is called as what? That calorific value of LPG. How much energy it is going to be released? It should be measured in terms of what? Joule. Okay. So after burning 1 kg of LPG, how much joule is going to be, or how much joule energy is going to be released by LPG is called as what? The calorific value of what? LPG. So supposing that you are burning 1 kg of coal. Okay. After burning 1 kg of coal, how much energy it is going to be released? So that amount of energy is called as what? Calorific value of coal. Okay. So have you understood about this calorific value? So first important feature or property of a good fuel is it should have high calorific value. So remember students, always the high calorific value fuel is hydrogen. Remember, hydrogen is the high calorific value fuel. So but it is very dangerous to burn hydrogen. Okay. So then second one, it should not produce smoke while burning. So now suppose think that you are burning a wood or you are burning a cow dung. Okay. So they are going to be releasing what? They are going to be releasing smoke, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, that gases. So if they are burning, if they are releasing smoke while burning, then they are not called as what? Good fuel. So it should be not produce smoke while burning. Second property or second feature of a good fuel is it should not produce smoke while burning. Then third one is it should be cheap and easily available. It should be very cheap to common man also. It should be available to common man also, and it is easily available in the market or anywhere. Okay, then that fuel is called as what? Good fuel. Then easy to handle and safe to transport. It should be easy to handle by everyone and safe to transport. So if some peoples are uneducated peoples are there, so some educated peoples are there. Educated people should know how to handle every fuel, but uneducated peoples, they don't know how to handle the fuels. So for them also it is safe to handle, then it is called as what? A good fuel. Okay, it is to handle, safe to transport, and then it is called as what? A good fuel. Okay, then another important property is convenient in storage. It should be very convenient to store in our houses or everywhere, then it is called as what? Good fuel. So these are students. Now we are going to see about the classification of sources of energy. Okay, the sources of energy can be classified as renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. So renewable sources of energy are also called as what? Non-conventional sources of energy. Non-renewable sources of energy are also called as what? Conventional sources of energy. Remember students, renewable sources of energy are also known as non-conventional sources of energy. So now we are going to know about these renewable sources of energy. The sources of energy which are in constant supply to us by nature. So nature is going to be supplying these sources of energy continuously to us. Okay. So the sources of energy which are in constant supply to us by nature and are inexhaustible. That is, they are not going to be completed. They are not going to be exhaustible, are known as renewable sources of energy. So the examples are solar energy, wind energy, water energy, that is also called as what? Hydro energy. Then geothermal energy, the energy which is present inside the earth crust is called as what? Geothermal energy. So that is also one of the renewable sources of energy. Then biomass energy, ocean energy or sea energy. So we have seen what are renewable sources of energy and examples for renewable sources of energy. Now we are going to see students advantages or profits of what? Renewable sources of energy. Okay, so the first advantage is these sources will last as long as the earth receives light from the sun. Up to the time whenever the earth is going to be receiving sunlight or solar energy from the sun, up to that time period these resources are going to be existing on the earth. So therefore the first advantage, these sources will last as long as the earth receives light from the sun. Second one is these sources are freely available in the nature. There is no cost for them. They are freely available in the nature. For example, solar energy, wind energy, then hydro energy, geothermal energy. All these energies are freely available in the nature. Then these sources do not cause any pollution. Remember, this is very one of the important advantage of renewable sources of energy. These sources do not cause any pollution. Students, now we are going to see some differences between renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. Okay, so renewable sources of energy and non-renewable sources of energy, these are having some differences between them. So renewable sources of energies can be replaced by natural process in a short amount of time, or can be recycled. Okay, they can be recycled as well as they can be replaced by natural process within a short period of time. Okay, then non-renewable sources of energy are cannot be replaced. These natural resources that either cannot be replaced or may take millions of years to replace by natural process like coal and oil. Okay, they will take a millions of years to make once again the coal and oil. When we uh, all destroyed them or we are used them, it will take again for a millions of years to form coal and oil in the earth crust once again. So they cannot be replaced in the nature by natural processes. So second one, renewable sources of energy. The second difference is renewable sources of energy can be reused or recycled and used multiple times. Supposing that today I am using solar energy at 10 o'clock in the morning. Is it not possible to me use this solar energy once again in the 4 o'clock? Yes, it is possible. Tomorrow also I am going to use them. 100 after 100 years also I am going to use them. Whenever there is a sun or solar energy, we can use all the renewable sources of energy like wind, water, then solar energy, then geothermal energy, biogas or biomass. We are going to use them also. Okay, so these can be reused and recycled as and used multiple times. So these non-renewable sources of energy cannot be reused or recycled. Once we used them, they are going to be depleted. Okay, so it is not possible to use non-renewable sources of energy once again. Then third difference, some of the examples are for renewable sources of energy are wind energy, solar power, hydroelectricity, geothermal energy, so biomass, all these are the some examples of renewable sources of energy. So the examples of non-renewable sources of energy are, some of the examples are petrol, coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, fossil fuels. These petrol, coal and natural gas together are called as what? Fossil fuels. Okay, so nuclear energy is also a non-renewable sources of energy. Then for using renewable sources of energy, there is no harm done to the environment because of its use. Okay, they are not going to release any pollutants to the environment. Hence, there is no harm done to the environment because of its use. Then huge harm done to the environment because of the harmful emissions of using non-renewable sources of energy. So these are some four important differences between renewable and non-renewable sources of energy.